a lot of talking tonight. I want to say a few words. I want to say how I feel about the work here, and I also wanted to say a few thank yous, because there's been a lot of people have contributed towards this project, and I wanted to welcome everybody. I wanted to welcome the parents who are here. Charlie Bird, who's going to say a few words, or a few words after I talk, and then Daragh's going to say a little bit. Andrew here, going to make him blush, the new Chairman of Business to Arts, Chief Executive, very proud. Our people from Canon as well, and I suppose I'll start off there having mentioned those two things. A really big thank you to Canon and the guys from Canon. They've been very supportive of this whole enterprise from the very start. They lent Daragh a fantastic set of kits, really spectacular cameras, really spectacular lenses, and they've been very generous in supporting the show. They provided all the ink, all the paper, and they've taken loads and loads of Daragh's books. But what they contributed is actually far more, because we also printed the work on one of their new fantastic printers, and this isn't a sales spiel for Canon. We really here work with the best, and a lot of people have said there's a certain something about the work here, and particularly some of the large prints outside, and it's really just that little special extra that the Canon printer gives and the Canon cameras give. They're just wonderful equipment, and that's all I have to say about that. The book is a fantastic production, beautifully designed and produced by Read That Image. They really deserve praise for it, but it's a fantastic production, and as such it needed significant funding, and funded. Daragh ran a brilliant funding campaign, and again, very sincere thanks to Andrew. I'm sorry to be making you blush referencing, but Fundit is the most fantastic platform for artists who have created for all sorts of endeavours, and so many people contributed so generously to make that book happen. So a big thank you to all those people. I know a lot of you are here, and a thank you to those that aren't. I also need to give a big thank you to the staff here. Our staff here are just amazing, and I never thank them enough. The work is printed beautifully. The framing is amazing. Jacek, who's not here, he does the framing. And then Orla and Sarah, I mean, they just give us the most incredible support. And of course, Maureen keeps us all in order. Daragh has been a joy to deal with. And it's a joy because so much emotion gets generated in taking this work in kind of looking at it with Daragh, in kind of assessing it and editing it and looking at it and working on it together, and him going away and coming back and saying that's right, that's wrong, and it's just a beautiful joy to actually make work like this. And it was even more of a joy when he brought his book in, because it's just the most beautiful book. And I was looking through it, and I mean, I'm the age I am, but I tell you, I burst into tears when I opened one page, and it's like a shock in the middle. It says, "For my parents." And I thought, it's just the most beautiful gift. And we thank you for the gift of the show as well. And that's all I have to say. I was thinking about opening that book, and I thought I'll go down before I get silly about it.
I'm outside Leinster House, don't worry.
Charlie Bird will now open the show.
Well, I tell you one thing, ladies and gentlemen, I would far prefer to be here tonight than standing outside Leinster House, or outside government buildings, chasing politicians. Daragh asked me to open the exhibition, and I said yes. And I'm not going to give a long spiel, I'm not going to detain you here for long tonight. But I do things because I've been fortunate over 38 years because people paid their television licenses. I worked for the public. And in those years, I got to go to amazing places and to do amazing things. Lots of them were chasing politicians and chasing bankers, but in the latter part of my career, I was fortunate enough to go to the Antarctic twice and to go to the Arctic on 3 separate occasions. And believe you me, it has helped to change the way I look at the world that we live in today. And in one sense, that's what DARAGH is doing here in this exhibition. They are absolutely special, special, special photographs. Believe you me, I know. Because I have taken thousands of photographs, and not one of them, and I'm not one of them, will I put on a wall. Because they just pale into insignificance. Because his eye, and also, it has to be said, and I said it, the printing, the quality is just absolute. It leaps out of the page. It leaps out of the wall, if that's the good or the bad grammar. It is absolutely fantastic. So the people who have put these images, DARAGH and the people here in this gallery have done an absolutely incredible job. A little bit of politics for me. The Inuit people, DARAGH spent time with them, I spent some time with them. There are about 120 or 130,000 Inuit people left in the world today. That's all. They're in Alaska, they're in northern Canada, they're in Greenland, and there are 2 places in Russia. But the way we are going, if you're a doubter, I'm not a scientist, but if you're a doubter about climate change, stroke, global warming, you're silly. Because it is happening. There is absolutely no doubt about that. On the 2 occasions that I went to the Canadian Arctic, I was taken out by Inuit hunters who have grown up there. And they were able to take me to glaciers that they as kids went to, and they're now gone. And you can see the exposed cliff faces that weren't there when they went 30 and 40 years ago. But it's true. It may be a laugh, but it is true. What is happening in the Canadian Arctic, what's happening in Greenland, what's happening in the Arctic in general, and in the Antarctic, global warming is happening. It's like a refrigerator in our own homes. We all have the comfort of a refrigerator. And you know if the bloody refrigerator goes out or the electricity goes off, what happens? We're all screaming and shouting about the food's going to go off, this is going to happen, that's going to happen. Well, for me, the Arctic and the Antarctic are the refrigerators of the world. And if we back it up, we've only got one chance. And that is what's happening before our eyes at the moment. And that is what is so important. DARAGH may not want to be a crusader, and I'm not a crusader, by the way, on global warming. I just went up there as a journalist, I saw what was happening, and I listened to the people. But his images, they may not be there in 20, 30 or 40 years' time. This year, a number of Irish people tried to walk to the North Pole. And the Twin Otter pilots who took them to the ice just above Ellesmere Island, those pilots who are flying up there all the time, I spoke to them when they came back. And they said, you know, in a few years' time, we may not be able to land our planes up in that part of the world. So in maybe 10, 15 or 20 or 30 years' time, man, woman may not be able to walk to the North Pole over the ice in the summer period. So all I'm saying, global warming, in my view, is happening. And we ignore it or dismiss it at our peril. But DARAGH's photographic images, they are just so special. And they are resonance of something which is really crucial and important. One last point. The Killary Flyer. The people who take them there. That's what it's all about. For every one of us. we should have still some burning ambition to get up off our backsides and do something. So I said to Daragh tonight, listen, may this not be your last, whatever it is. Keep doing it, because it needs to be done. So thank you very much.
Wow. I don't think I've ever spoken to a crowd this big before. So thank you all so much for coming. It's humbling to see you all here. I really appreciate it. Now, I don't think these guys use notes at all. I may have to, you know, pay attention to some notes in a minute, but we'll see how far I can get without them. They're here, and one hand is kind of twitching in the pocket on them. But basically, we set off in June 2013 last year, and it was like an 18-day passage across the Atlantic to get to Greenland. The expedition was organised by the Killery Adventure Company, and it was called North of Disco. The idea was that we were going to get north of Disco Island. So, when we arrived on the west coast of Greenland, the first spot we arrived at, we were damp, we were beaten up by headwinds and storms all the way across, and our clothes were wet, we were damp, we wanted to dry out, get hot showers. So we did all that, got some food into us, and then I decided, right, I need to check my emails. And got on the email, and it's kind of low quality Wi-Fi that we had, but you know, take what you're given. And I started downloading my emails, and it told me it was 40,000 emails downloaded. And I was like, hang on, what, 3 weeks and it's 40,000 emails? Basically, I'd set up an autoresponder before I left, and one of my people on my mailing list, it also has an autoresponder. So basically, we were playing email tennis as we went across the Atlantic. A lovely surprise for me when we got there. And luckily, my lovely sister Dee, who's here tonight, selling the books and giving out the Funded Awards upstairs, she went online and one by one deleted the emails, which probably took her about 2. I think she's still doing it actually. Okay, it's time now to see what's next on my little agenda. So I'd like to, you know, Les, you gave some good thanks, but there's a few I have to echo. Charlie, first of all, thank you wherever you've nipped off to there, but thank you very much for your words and for opening this. It means a lot to me. I'm honoured by your presence. Thank you. Yes, and the Copper House and everything that Les has said and Charlie said about the work. It's been an absolute pleasure to exhibit here with the Copper House, and they've been printing for me for years, and this has also all been a step up in terms of finishing and quality. So yeah, to everybody here from Les, Maureen, Mark, Orla, Sarah and Jack, or maybe it's Jakic, I don't know whether I've got quite the pronunciation, but yeah, thank you so much to you all. It's been an absolute pleasure. You also mentioned Read That Image, and I personally have to thank Read That Image, because it's been a journey and an evolution of this book. I mean, I had the images and I wasn't sure how I was going to bring it to fruition. So when I joined up with Read That Image, I think there's 3 of them here tonight, it was such a wonderful working process to go through with them. And the book has become a piece of art in itself because of it. And, you know, if anybody's ever thinking about getting a photo book done, you've got to go to Read That Image. It's an amazing experience, and the printing quality plus the design, it's just all been fantastic. So, Maciek, Kasia, Barry and Vinny, thank you all so much. And the Funded campaign, it's an amazing platform that Funded provides for artists, that we are able to generate much needed funding for creative projects that otherwise wouldn't get off the ground. And to everybody at Business Arts and Funded, you know, it's brilliant that you do it, and thank you so much, and thanks and congratulations also on your Chief Executive. And everybody who contributed to the Funded campaign. You know, without this it wouldn't be happening, and I know there's a lot of you here tonight, and there's a little prize draw in a bit which we will be doing, so If your names are in the hat, very exciting. So today, Adrian Tahany and Jared McNaughton, they got on board when I first came back from Greenland to basically help me bring the whole project to fruition as well. And they're just great creative sounding boards. And the haiku and the tanka poem up there, the Shimmering Diamonds, that's either kind of my words, but Adrian pulled them together to create the lovely poem that you see there, and that's in the book as well. So to Jerry and Adrian, thank you so much. Okay, so we've still got a bit to go. Just hang in there. I know, like, the bar is going to wait in there, but we get there. Ben Pettit, Eric Treneman and Brian Keane have been really helpful with Ben basically transformed the words that I had and helped me piece them together for the words in the book. And Derek and Brian helped brainstorm some of the titles. So big thanks to you guys as well. I hope you enjoyed the evening. The music tonight is provided by Tubber Kyo. That's Anya's on the harp and Nisha on the flute. And they've provided music at many of the openings I've done. Some of you may remember them, but they always add such a beautiful part to the evening. So many thanks to you guys. Dan and Murray looking after the bar. Wait. And my parents, who have been an absolute tour de force in support for me. I see my mum there, don't know where my dad is, where is he? He'll be hiding somewhere, but sorry. Oh yeah, there you are. So much, thank you for all your love and support. It means a lot. And that would bring me to the entire extended family, who are always there for me and, you know, give me love. Even the youngest is there as well, Lorcan. Hey! He's, by the way, he's like, what, 2 months? And Dee and Tom, they're here tonight, looking after the books. There she is there, give them a wave. Give them another wave. Sending the book up there. Thanks a million to those guys. They're fantastic. Now, the entire Killery crew. It was such a wonderful journey going up with an amazing bunch of people like that, and sharing in the perils of the ocean and the highs and lows of the entire trip. And it is, it's not every day you get an invitation to go on something like that, and to go with such a wonderful bunch of people. And